Welcome back to the Slow Magic Challenge, Day 5. For 12 days, we are going to interrupt the mythology of fast transformation and practice another way, one rooted in presence, participation, self-trust, and small, faithful movements that actually have the power to change us. Today is Day 5, and we're at the end of Week 1. Last year, I was in the middle of working multiple jobs and raising a toddler, and I had those moments that we all have where something at home that needed attention just would stare me in the face, and I'd feel shame that I'd let. Before we get there, I wanted to tell you a true story because everything we've talked about this week gets easier to believe once you've seen it work in something as unglamorous as a shower. But soap scum and hair and general gunk built up a lot faster than less often. So I felt behind every time I looked at it. And underneath the behindness was a second layer of frustration. The amount of time a full clean actually takes just didn't feel resonant with everything else I was carrying. I didn't have a spare hour for a shower. I barely had 5 minutes. So I got creative. I made myself a rule that I now call the 4-wipe method. Every time I take a shower, the moment I get out, I grab 4 baby wipes and choose one area to wipe down. That's it. Every once in a great while I use more than 4. I never use less. And here's why it's worked for me. First, it reminded me over and over that even when I was exhausted, I could still muster the energy for 4 wipes. That's not nothing, that's proof. And second, it felt genuinely good to keep that commitment to myself every single time. And here's the part that I didn't expect. Because I'd made the task so small, skipping it actually became more frustrating than doing it. So it would actually, I knew that it would actually take more out of me to walk past the shower knowing I hadn't kept my 4-wipe promise than it did to just do the 4 wipes. Staying committed became the path of least resistance, not because I forced discipline, but because I'd made faithfulness easier than abandonment. And then momentum did what momentum does. As the showers started getting these small, regular touches, the whole space started to feel different to be in. I built a quiet, real pride, and the infrequent, full, deep clean stopped being so daunting because I was never actually starting from behind anymore. And here's what I really want you to hear. It wasn't really about the shower. It was that in a space where I used to feel shame, powerlessness, and frustration every time I glanced at it, I now feel pride, capability, and satisfaction. Same shower, completely different person standing in front of it. Fast magic skips something that matters enormously. In the process of actually hands-on engaging our lives day by day, we get to build something. We get to remember that our presence isn't just busy work. It makes a real difference. And that felt sense of making a difference is actually one of the most significant factors in feeling purposeful and fulfilled and gently pushing back against the flatness of depression. Not a hack, not a system, just the daily embodied practice, just the daily embodied evidence that you're actually here, actually participating, actually building. That's the joy of building something yourself. Not a burst of accomplishment, a relationship with your own life that gets to keep deepening. So this is the last day before the weekend, and I want to give you something bigger to carry into it. Go back to the adaptation that you named on day 3 and the small practice that you chose instead on day 4. From there, I want to invite you to ask yourself, what kind of person do I actually desire to become? Let yourself name her honestly. Not the idealized, dramatic version, but the one who's actually possible, given everything that's true about your life. Then I want to invite you to look around you, your home, your relationship, or even just the inner posture you carry, and find your own version of the shower. So one place where a small bite-sized practice repeated could quietly begin building something. Choose one, not 5. 1. This isn't a practice for today only. It's the beginning of a habit. Something that you're committing to keep doing. The way I keep showing up with 4 wipes. Over the weekend, there's nothing new to learn, just this. Let yourself actually live inside the practice that you chose and notice what starts to shift. I'll see you on Monday for week 2.